World Domination Wrestling Alliance and Wrestle Talk Podcasts brings to you another episode of Elevation. Number 5, John. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing good. Great to be here and great to see you again tonight, Gavin. I tell you, number 5 is just, it blows my mind that we are on number 5 already. And, you know, we have great guests all lined up for tonight and just looking forward to it again tonight.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining in with us tonight. As always, I'm Gaven Jaxon. I'm the owner of World Domination Wrestling Alliance, and I'm here with my man Hardcore Hoss, who's currently the FWWC Hardcore Champion. He also is representing Wrestle Talk. So, as you guys know, when you guys come and join us, that it's nothing but love here at Elevation, and we're one big happy family. And I'm happy to be doing this project with Hoss. Everything's been going smoothly. We've been getting a lot of great feedback. We got a lot of ideas on how to grow. So yeah, man, just stay tuned and keep sharing and keep liking and keep showing up, and we'll keep delivering. So John, man, tell everybody about the fan weigh-in that we do every time. Hype it up, man, so we can get some interest.
Yeah, as you guys know, with the last segment of the show, we always do the fans weigh in. We select the lucky fan to come in and be on with us, and we get your picks on the upcoming show, and it's really a good time, and we just get to talk a lot of wrestling, and that's always great when we can do that. So be sure, drop comments. I'm watching the comments, and I will select somebody from there, and so be sure to let me know if you want to be one of the fans at the fans weigh in, and we will get it all set up later on tonight as to who will be the fan that we bring on. Last show when we did the fan weigh in, I did keep track of it. I went 5-1, and we had Steve go 4-2, and Mr. Gaven Jaxon there not so well with 1-5.
Ah, come on, man. All right. Well, I'll make up for that tonight. We'll see how it goes the next show.
So yeah, we want to see how everybody does at it. We get to see your picks and see how well you get to pick. But we got a great show lined up tonight, Gavin.
Yeah, we do. We're hoping to link up with the current Mid-Atlantic Champion, the Gatekeeper, Cizzko, supposed to be in the house tonight. We're waiting to hear back from him. And then on top of that, one of the most decorated superstars that have ever wrestled for WDWA, the Steel City Sex Pistol himself, Mr. Shane Malice, is supposed to be coming on and checking us all out. But you know how things go, man. Both these guys, they're working really hard at their jobs. They're trying to get a moment to step away. There may not be that moment, But I see you, Matt Pinkston. It's all right, man. It's getting white. But that being said, we're definitely going to give it our all to make sure things happen tonight. Cizzko is going to try to clear out some time for us. Shane Malice is going to try to clear out some time for us. But yeah, John, how's everything been with you, man?
Hey, it has been great. Everything's going all right, and just been busy. But I know things have been just as busy for you, and especially coming off of Over the Top. Another great show.
Yeah, Over the Top. Our big Rumble match. This was actually a 30-man Rumble match. The biggest ever in WDWA history. So it was huge. It was record breaking for our company. And yeah, man, let's go ahead and look at those results. So match one, we've talked about this on the last podcast. Jordan Evans defeated JTR in the Texas belt buckle on a pole match, which, man, I was worried for Evans, man. He was outnumbered with Jason Curtis and CEO out there, but he was able to get the win, man. But, man, what a shocking win on match number 2 when the Syndicate defeated Clay Jacobs, the Outlaw Bo Ross, and LDJ, man. That totally shocked the world when Sam Adams pinned Clay Jacobs clean. No cheating, no nothing. Inside cradle for the 1-2-3. I came up out of my seat, John. Something that I never thought I'd ever see.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing to see that. I didn't think I'd ever see it, but it happened, and it'll be interesting to see where things go from there with it. I tell you.
Yeah, Sam Adams doing great things. Like we mentioned last show, future Hall of Famer. And he's definitely, since teaming up with the Brothers Gray and forming the Syndicate, has just been on a rocket launcher, man, to success. Curious to see how things are going to go for him. What's going on, Andrew Dowdy? How you doing, buddy? Match number 3, the Open Challenge for the Light Heavyweight Championship. Just Jay, he took out Ace Christian, man. Ace Christian was scheduled to appear. He could not appear due to Just Jay attacking him. Which left a void and Over the Top. So what we did, because Just Jay was trying to get out of that booking, it was like, nope, man, you still got to show up. Open challenge. Anybody that's in that weight class can show up. And man, talk about who showed up was the Alpha Woman, former WDWA Women's Champion Amara Void. Were you shocked to see her, John?
Oh, I was absolutely shocked to see her come out to answer that open challenge, because I think just like everybody, they were thinking of a male wrestler in the back. I don't think anybody was thinking of the females, who of the females would answer an open challenge like that. But to see her come through that curtain and, give it her all to take that title from Just Jay was really something. And it was shocking to see her come out, and just absolutely great to see her there again. And, I know that she lost that women's championship a few shows ago, but I think there are big things for her on the horizon, so she's nowhere near done.
Yeah, Amara Void, we love having her here at WDWA, tough as nails. But Just Jay being Just Jay, cheated for the victory. He had his feet on the ropes and held her shoulders down and, win by all costs, but I can't wait to see Ace Christian. Jackson just put it up. Go ahead and put that back up there for me, John. Jackson just wrote, Ace Christian will beat Jay at Hot and Bothered. Man, can't wait to see that match. Can't wait for Ace Christian to show back up, get his revenge on Just Jay. But you guys got to be there to see it. July 12th. Match 4, Tag Team Championship match. Black Wall Street. They just been kicking ass since winning those Tag Team Championship back in December. Faced off against Misuse, which is some people's favorite tag team. I'll never take anything from them. They're very good, but man, this shocked the hell out of me for them to be able to beat a tag team as legendary as Black Wall Street, John.
Yeah, I definitely did not see that coming. You know, I thought for sure that, you know, Black Wall Street would ultimately retain. Because honestly, I mean, I know when I did picks last time, I did pick Misused, but I even said just because I picked them to win didn't mean I picked them to walk out with the titles. And I didn't expect them to walk out with those titles at all. And to see that happen, I thought JTR and them would cause disqualification, but, unfortunately, the ref accidentally getting knocked out. Um, it, it just is what it is.
Yeah, so for as good as everybody thinks Misused is, they would not have been able to pull this off without Money and Power. Money and Power is what gave them the assist to win the tag team championships. They owe them the world. So match number 5, man, for the WDWA Heavyweight Championship. You had AK Bane defending his championship against the Lightning Ryo. Man, I have worked a lot with Ryo recently. Him and I have been running the wrestling school together. The guy knows what the hell he's doing. I had very high hopes for Ryo. Thought he could pull this off. But like we just mentioned with Money and Power, you're never in there against one man. They're always a team. And I think Ryo just got outnumbered in this. The focus could not stay on AK Bane. And unfortunately, AK Bane just used his strength and to capitalize on Ryo. Man, what did you think of that match?
Yeah, it was a good match. Ryo put up one heck of a fight. Ryo is one heck of a competitor, no matter who he's against, and it was just great to see him have that opportunity, and great to see the fight that he did put up. But it just wasn't enough. Like you say, you're never in there against one man when it comes to them, and unfortunately, he just couldn't overcome that.
Yeah, I still see a lot of bright things in Ryo's future. Just that night was not his night to become WDWA Heavyweight Champion, and the reign of AK Bane continues. But man, we moved on to the main event after that, John. 30 men, I'll take that back. 29 men and 1 woman Rumble match. That's right. Sis Sasaki showed up as a surprise entrance, which totally caught everybody off guard. Man, we mentioned Amara Void being tough as nails. You want to talk about tough as nails? That's Sis Sasaki. I was worried about those guys when she showed up, but man, she showed up to fight. But man, we had a bunch of different people show up. Dad returned to WDWA. He started off with CEO versus Dad to begin it, which shocked everybody, shocked JTR. Man, but the big story here is the winner. Were you shocked to see the winner?
To a certain extent, yes. I mean, I knew that, I had picked Clay, you had picked Clay, and I knew DeMarcus being in there. I knew DeMarcus would be a force to be reckoned with. DeMarcus is an absolute beast in that ring.
Yeah.
And so, even though I thought Clay would overcome and be the one to come out the victor, DeMarcus was a close second for me, So whereas I thought Clay would do it, I wasn't completely surprised by DeMarcus winning it, but it was a good outcome no matter how you looked at it.
Yeah, I just thought a lot was up against the wall for DeMarcus. It was hard to bet on him. He had a tag title match, which going into that, that he was going to be across from Misused in the Rumble, and then you had Money and Power around, and I just thought he had so much up against him that he just wouldn't be able to flourish, man. But he shocked the world. Our 2025 WDWA Royal Rumble winner and heading to Berkeley Mania for the challenger, the Kingpin, DeMarcus Kane. But
And that will be a one heck of a match when you match up DeMarcus Kane against AK Bane. Two absolute beasts.
That's if AK Bane can make it. He's got matches. He's got to match the 12th. He's got to be able to get through Chuck Lennox. He's got a long road ahead of him. But, there's one thing for sure is DeMarcus Kane will be there, But then the question is at what capacity? Money and Power left DeMarcus Kane beat up and left him to rot in the ring. He's going to be, it's an uphill climb from here, and I doubt with JTR leading the fight, man, that DeMarcus is going to get a fair share at this. I'm sure he's going to be putting his numbers together, putting his brain power together, and he's going to do everything he can to get the advantage over DeMarcus Kane, John.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will, and it's not going to be an easy fight for DeMarcus by any means, and I really don't know who I would pick in that, and of course, fortunately, we got plenty of time, but it's going to be a heck of a fight between those two for sure, and for DeMarcus to overcome Money and Power, because there's going to be other Money and Power members at ringside, and there's going to be other Money and Power members backstage, and Misused is going to be there. They're going to be lurking around. So he does have so many odds against him, against AK Bane. But a lot of times the more odds DeMarcus has against him, the more determined that makes him. And it's going to be interesting if it turns out to be beast versus beast like that, because like I say, both of them are truly a beast in the ring.
Yeah, if it gets to that point and we see those two monsters colliding, it's to me, it's one of those things like we got to see Godzilla and King Kong. We got to see Freddy Krueger versus Jason Voorhees. This is going to be another time where we're going to see two monsters, with a lack of a better term, collide. And if that's the case, man, there's no better place than at Berkeley Mania on August 30th. That just will be a match that I think is worth the admission itself, But yeah, if you missed Over the Top and you weren't able to make it out, make sure you're following our Frontline show. Our matches end up there every Thursday night at 8:00. So feel free to check us out on Frontline. And here's a little bit of what we're doing over there. That's right. Frontline every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Our buddy Juan is taking care of 100% of everything. And he's also been adding Saturday shows as well. He's got a lot of content. He's trying to get it out there. So stay tuned to the Wild Patriot on YouTube for all your your details for what's going on for WDWA as well as Frontline. You could also listen to guys like Hardcore Hoss and Steve Nets and Dashing Donnie Diablo call the action. So it's one great team over there working on Frontline. But Juan is leading that charge, man. Juan, we thank you so much for everything you do for us. John, buddy, how's everything going in the FWWC, man?
Things are going really great in the FWWC. We are, we just went through trying to figure out who was going to be tag team contenders. I think that got settled last night with Brothers in Arms and High Society going to be going against House of Horrors for the tag team championships. And, just so much action going on over there. And you definitely want to check that out on Facebook. Fantasy Worldwide chapter. So too many things there. FWWC, Fantasy Worldwide chapter. You definitely want to check that out and click on the join button there. If you want to just watch and be a fan, that's fine. Just let us know that. We'll be glad to accept you as a fan. If you want to compete, which we've gotten a few new competitors popping up, we'd love to have you as a competitor. Just fill out the questionnaire there and let us know you want to compete, and we'll be more than happy to bring you in. I mean, we don't actually step in the ring, but it's as close as you can get without actually stepping in the ring when we do promos and role play and all that against our opponents. So it's an absolute great time. And I think we have another little video package there for that one as well.
Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter, where the world's smartest wrestling fans come together to compete for real championships. Original characters, trash talking, picks during live events, pay-per-views, and even get-togethers like bowling, ice skating, and pool tournaments as well. We have members from across the globe who will stop at nothing to climb to the top of the fantasy wrestling power rankings. Simply the best fantasy wrestling group in the world. Why? Because of you, the creative and active members of the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter.
So, John, with the FWWC, man, is there certain days or nights or times of the month that you guys do your shows, and how does that all work?
Right now we tend to use Monday nights. We use the WWE. We also use them some Friday nights where we will have we'll put everybody in a room that has a match, and one person is in charge of calling out the matches. They'll call out the matches in that room, and then you'll send your pick to whoever's in charge of doing scores that night. A lot of times it's the CEO, Dewan Mills, and he will take your pick, and if you're right, you get a point. If you're wrong, you obviously don't. And then we role play back and forth throughout that, where I'll role play what's going on in the match, and then if you're my opponent, then you role play what goes on in the match, and we'll role play it back and forth, so that way, as you read it, you can visualize an actual match happening, and then at the end, the person who has the most correct picks wins the match. Now, unfortunately, if you tie, then you got to make it a double disqualification or a double count out or whatever. Somehow you got to squash the match. But that happens from time to time. But if whoever picks the most right, most of the time is the one who wins your match, and you role play and ending to the match and everything. And you just really have a good time with it. And if you get to go for championships, unfortunately, I don't have mine within grabbing length at the moment. But if you get to go for championships, then you actually get a real championship.
How many championships do you guys have right now?
We have our Warriors Heart Championship, our World Championship, Spartans Heart Championship, International Hardcore Tag Title. I feel like I'm forgetting one. But
Susie says 6.
Yeah, I was thinking 6, but I can't remember the one that I'm forgetting here.
There's a match request for WDWA. It says a dinner date with JTR, Gary, and Sheila. Sheila, what do you think about that? You want to go on a date with JTR and Gary? Or Gary versus Sheila, winner gets a dinner date with JTR. What do you think, Sheila?
I think that would be a match Sheila would probably throw.
She says no. Not interested at all.
I keep telling her I'm going to bring her on for the fans weigh in one night, and she keeps telling me if I do, I'm going to get her kicked out.
Well, she just keeps wanting to hurt JTR.
Well, if you win that dinner date with him, hey, what y'all do on that dinner date is your own business.
Yeah. Susie says you got the Warriors Heart Heavyweight Tag, Spartans Hardcore, and International.
Okay.
She's got all the info, man. We always appreciate Susie jumping in.
Give me 1 second here. I see one of our guests is reaching out here with a bit of an issue.
Well, while you're doing that, John, I'm going to let people know that WDWA will be hosting a seminar with EY himself, Mr. Eric Young, on July 12th. So if you're a pro wrestler and you're looking to get a little bit more knowledge from somebody that's been around, the guy's been all over the world. He's wrestled for WWE. He's wrestled for TNA, former 2-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Guys, it's Eric Young, man. If you guys want to pick somebody's brain, this is the workhorse. This is the guy to do it. If you guys are interested, please reach out to myself or WDWA so we can get you guys scheduled. But, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. Were you able to get a hold of our guest?
It looks like he did get to pop in here, so it looks like he is good to go. So let's get him in here. He is the Mid-Atlantic Champion, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only, the Gatekeeper, Cizzko.
Oh, what an introduction. I love it.
What's going on, Cizzko?
Working never stops, right?
Yeah, man, we're happy you took the time. I know you got a busy schedule with your jobs and everything like that, and you're out killing it, man, doing your thing. So we appreciate you taking the time to step aside to reach out with Elevation, man. So thank you.
No problem. I'm always happy. Champ's got to make his appearances. I can't be one of them champs hiding in the shadows now.
Yeah, man. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about you becoming the champ. I mean, after going through hell with Diablo Rojo and Anton Nathan, man, you made I didn't even know it was you. I'm the guy that owns the company. I didn't even know it was you under that mask. That was awesome, dude. How long were you playing in that?
Since he took me out, you got to devise a plan and strategy, especially with someone as smart as Anton Nathan, because you never know what's going to happen with him. But in the end, I one-upped him, and I showed him who the better man was. Like I said, I've been playing in that for a really long time. I didn't want to just come in there and be one of those jabronis, just coming out. Nah, man. Plus, the fans have been wanting it. You got to give the fans what they want. They knew who it was. Or at least they wanted to know who it was. They had their suspicions. They knew who they wanted it to be. I'm glad I didn't disappoint.
Yeah, dude, you shocked me. Like, I walk around in the locker rooms. I didn't see you back there, man. So you must have snuck in, got the mask on, everything, dude, because you caught me by surprise, man. What a great moment, man. What a shocking moment. And then you went on to become the Mid-Atlantic Champion that night, man. Well deserved. You're a hard
Thank
worker.
you.
I've known you for years. Happy to have you represent the company. John, what did you think about that night, man? You were in the audience. What did you think when Cizzko took off his mask and revealed it was him? What do you think, John?
Yeah, Susie and I, we both looked at each other in that during that match, and we kept looking, going, that guy just, it's very familiar about him. And we kept watching, and then when he won, we both looked at each other and said, now he needs to pull off the mask and show that it's Cizzko. And
Everybody was
sure
wanting
enough,
that.
Can I just say this? The last guy he was in that battle royal with is our current heavyweight champion, A.K. Bane. Right? He defeated A.K. Bane to get his shot at the Mid-Atlantic Champion, man. But he went on.
Nothing was going to stop me.
He went on to face Anton Nathan that night. You guys main evented at the South Berkeley Fire Hall, man. You guys killed it, both of you guys. I'm not going to take nothing away from Anton Nathan. Very, very talented. Great long future ahead of him. We haven't seen him back since that night. We're hoping to see him back again. But Cizzko, that was your night to shine. You did it. You came up. You delivered. That was just a great night overall, man. I loved every minute of it.
I loved every minute too, especially whenever the ref counted 1, 2, 3. It was such a full circle moment, just from everything from Diablo Rojo to Prince Noah, all the way down to, I guess you would say, betraying Prince Noah at this point, and then Anton turning on me, and then trying to take me out. Just that long run I had to do just to get back, rehabilitation, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely glad to see you, come back, and glad that you are back and just as strong as ever and better than ever, really. And
better than ever.
We just hope to be seeing a whole lot more of you. But, I know that the next show we will be seeing you in action.
That's right.
Well, we just put this other guy over, man, and all the praise, future Hall of Famer. You're going to be going one-on-one with Sam Adams.
Mr. Good Luck, right? That's what he calls himself. Let me just take a second. Let me just take a second for this one. I've been waiting for this. But Mr. Good Luck, you could be the luckiest man in the world. You can collect as many 4-leaf clovers as you can, but the gates are open. And this right here, this bad boy right here, is staying around the waist of the gatekeeper. You believe that?
Yeah, man. I got all the confidence in the world for you. I think that, going one-on-one with Sam Adams, but you guys are going to kill this match. It's going to be a great match. What I worry for you, man, is what do you think about the rest of the syndicate, the Brothers Gray? They're going to be out there. They're going to be ringside. Sam Adams got some tricks up his sleeve. How do you prepare for something like that?
It's all a mental game. All a mental game. You got to know, you're not going in there one-on-one. So Cizzko's always got some tricks up his sleeve. You won't believe what happens next with that one.
Well, the other thing I want to bring up, man, is, the last time we saw you in WDWA, you went one-on-one with the Ranch Hand Carlson. And, man, I got to be honest with you, he, with the exception of those last 3 seconds that cost him the pin, I think he had your number, man. He's already gone to social media. He's calling you out. He wants a rematch. He says that he knows he had you beat. What did you think about facing Ranch Hand Carlson before? What do you think about his comments? And would we be able to see you guys in the future?
Well, before I had no clue who he was. He's a tough cookie. I can't hold that against him. He's a tough one. I mean, he might have almost had me, but I guess his ego got a little bit bigger than his brain. And like I said, I got a whole bunch of tricks up my sleeve, and I'm always ready to capitalize on a moment's notice. Maybe next time he won't be so busy running his mouth, and he'll be a little bit more focused on winning a championship, and he just might be the champion like me one day. As for the future, you never know what it holds. He keeps talking that talk. Cizzko might have to open up the gates and let him walk the walk.
Yeah, man, you said it. One of the things you said at the beginning is you're a fighting champion. You're going to always show up. Is there anybody in WDWA that you would love to lock up with in the ring, man, that thinks that you think they deserve a shot at that Mid-Atlantic Championship?
Oh yeah, plenty. Like if I'm a champion, I'm accepting any and all comers. I just want the entire locker room to know I don't care if it's Kalen Patrick. Oh wait, no, that's not his name anymore, is it? They call him Reese. Reese. Yeah, he's got some mental problems. I'm not going to get into that one, but it could be anywhere from him all the way up to the big dog. DeMarcus Kane. I know he's got his beef or whatever with the heavyweight championship. Clay Jacobs. It was an honor facing him the first time, but I'm always happy to put the belt on the line with the top dog like that. Go out there, show everybody why I'm the champ. Show them it's not just a fluke, but I'm the real deal too.
John, what do you think, buddy? Anybody you'd like to see the gatekeeper lock up with?
Well, one of the things I have a question for you with, Gavin, is you've pointed out yourself that Cizzko put out AK Bane, the current WDWA champion. Does that buy Cizzko a shot at the current champion sometime soon?
That might be something we'd consider. I'd have to get to the drawing board, and there's different people at different levels, and I think Cizzko is definitely on the right path to getting a shot. I'd have to go back to the drawing board, man, and see how it works out. But I would love to see that match, title versus title, AK Bane versus the gatekeeper Cizzko. That'd be great.
Cizzko 2 belts, hey, got a ring to it there.
Herb Simmons just joined our chat. Good evening to you too, sir. Happy to have you on Elevation. Jackson would like to see Cizzko versus Austin Kingsley the Fifth, the Holy Grail champion. What do you think about that, Cizzko?
Isn't that dude who puts his finger up like this? His little pinky.
Pinky's up.
Pinky's up. Yeah. He might be worth a challenge. I don't know. To be honest, I've never really paid attention to him. He seems a bit too high class for my status. I'm a lower class kind of guy. But who knows? I might have to start paying attention. You never know when the gatekeeper is going to have his eyes on you.
Yeah, man. I think that the gatekeeper is a moniker, man, that you wear proudly. I think that anybody that's trying to make it in WDWA, I think you are a great measuring stick to what represents WDWA as a whole. So I think whoever decides to come to the company or whoever is currently in the company, good luck getting through the gatekeeper Cizzko. I think that you have all the keys and all the cards that you handle yourself respectfully, and you're a great competitor and nothing but bright things in your future. But man, we mentioned all those names that we'd love to see get in the ring with you, but to be honest, I mean, good luck to them all because they're all going to need it.
Amen to that one, brother. Amen to that one. I might act goofy whenever I'm coming out to the ring, but once that bell rings, I'm all business. Business.
Well, I know your time with us is short for tonight, Cizzko. So we appreciate you taking that time. John, do you have anything else for Cizzko that you'd like to ask him, or anything you want to hear from him?
Yeah, Cizzko, I'm just happy, like I say, to see you back, and just look forward to seeing more of you in the ring, and just keep defending that title. And I know
Always.
that you are a fighting champion, and it's not going anywhere for a while, I'm sure.
Amen. Amen to that. Like I said, gates are open to that entire locker room. I'll be seeing everybody soon. July 12th, don't forget.
That's right. So thank you again, Cizzko, for coming on. We'll let you get back to doing what you were doing, brother. Thank you for all your time and everything. We are looking forward to seeing the gatekeeper, Cizzko, defend his Mid-Atlantic Championship against Mr. Good Luck, Sam Adams, on July 12th for Hot and Bothered. Thanks, Cizzko.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You too, brother. You know, always love sharing locker rooms with Cizzko. Always love sharing the ring with him. I got to wrestle him early in his career. And I remember going to the promoter after that match and saying, you know what, man, like I'd like to tangle it up with this kid a little bit more. I think he's got a lot going for him, man. So I'm happy to see years later down the line, he's winning championships and multiple promotions and everything like that. You know, he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a good hard worker. And he deserves all the success. And I'm sure there's only but success coming his way in the future as well. But yeah, man, it was great to have Cizzko on. We're looking forward to everything coming for Hot and Bothered. But how's everything at Wrestle Talk Podcast, man? What's going on over there? I know you guys recently had WDWA manager on, a member of Money and Power, Jason Curtis. How did that go?
You know, that was a very good interview. We got to learn a lot more about Jason Curtis, and just it was a lot of fun to sit and talk with him. And you know, we always enjoy anybody that we get to interview. They always turn out to be some great interviews. And you know, also as a member of Wrestle Talk, you know, want to give a shout out to Luke Skywalker Roberts. You know, he does a lot of work over there on Wrestle Talk, and just got inducted to the St. Louis Independent Hall of Fame. So, you know,
That's
want to
awesome,
congratulate him on that. And just so much going on. And we have another great show coming up next week on Wrestle Talk. So I don't know if we've actually announced the guest yet.
Well, what date and time can people listen to that, man, and follow Wrestle Talk Podcast, and where can they find you on social media and everything?
You can catch us every other Tuesday night. It is the off Tuesdays of Elevation. And you can catch them on Facebook under Wrestle Talk Podcast, Twitch, YouTube, several different places. We actually have a QR code here that if you give that a scan, that'll bring up all of our social medias. Every place you can find us, you can give us a follow. You can be sure to check it out. You can check out past interviews as well. And so that QR code will take you to all of it. And
How far back do your archives go?
Actually, on that QR code, there are two different I can't remember whether it's Apple Podcasts or two different anyway, there's two different of one of them that actually, one is the older shows that is from show 100 and forwards, and I forget where that one cuts off, but wherever that one cuts off, the other one is picking up, and you can go all the way to show 518. We are actually going to be going to show 519 next week, which will be we'll be talking to Chad Olson. Be honest, I don't know a whole lot about him. I know he is somebody that I believe was scheduled. I believe he's out of Canada. I believe,
Nice.
but so we'll be talking with him, and that will be Luke Roberts and Jeremy Karp. Those two will be handling that interview. So definitely, be sure to check that out as well.
So I'm sorry. Before we move on, tell us something that Jason Curtis talked about. Give us a little insight on something he released to you guys, so we can pass it along to our audience.
We talked about a variety of things with Jason, from how he got started. We talked to him about where he is now, and we even talked to him about a little something that I didn't even know about, that stems from WDWA, that is the children of the wrestlers that have their own little group. And apparently he broke his son's leg in that group. I don't know a lot about that. I haven't seen that, but so it's very interesting to really sit down and talk to these people and the things that you find out. So if you want to know more about it, be sure to go back and check it out if you haven't already. And you may pick up a little something that you didn't know, or pick up something that like this, like the little group he was telling us about. I did not know about that, and it definitely is something that it has piqued my interest now that I definitely want to look into more. So
yeah, I learn about it all the time. My youngest, he's in on it. The prodigy Jackson Wayne Williams, that's what he calls himself. And I know that they meet up at the shows. They do their thing. They also have YouTube channel. I'll put them over right now, the Prodigy Bros. But yeah, we definitely should find out more information from them and get that out there. I think whenever there's kids that are following their passion and doing their best to learn and just to have fun, man, that us as adults, especially in the wrestling industry, that we should encourage it and make sure it's a safe place. I feel bad about Jason Curtis' son getting hurt, but I did find out it was only like a minor sprain, that he's able to walk on it and everything else. But yeah, that's why we got to take these young kids under our wing so that they're able to do it, learn the correct way to do it.
We actually have a little spot here for the Wrestle Talk podcast. So let's go ahead and hit that real quick.
Wrestle Talk. We go back years ago. That's why I'm happy to be doing this business with them, teaming up to join Elevation. So please, guys, show them some love, like their social media, follow it, share it, get the word out there. Listen to the shows yourself. Very entertaining, very exciting. Jackson wanted to post up his YouTube channel for the the kids wrestling. So there you go. The Prodigy Bros YT on YouTube. Billy Bowers, he knows Jackson. He put up, for someone at such a young age, Jackson has an amazing mind for the wrestling business. I'm not sure where he learns that stuff from. But He's a good kid, good head on his shoulders, and I think he's going to be the future of this business as long as he puts that hard work in.
But you mentioned earlier about working with Rio with the school, and you're talking now about these young kids and trying to come up. It seems like a perfect time to let people in on what's going on at the WDWA wrestling school.
Yeah, so wrestling school's been killing it. Like I said on the previous podcast, everybody that's showing up is delivering. Those who have no sort of athletic background are still giving it their all. They're putting that work in. When things are hard and things hurt, like I see these guys push themselves and push themselves and push themselves despite the pain or despite taking multiple tries. Nobody's giving up, and everybody's supporting everybody, and everybody's cheering on everybody. It's such a great family oriented, and I say that like, just encouraging environment where everybody's trying to grow and learn the art of professional wrestling. I think the Lightning Rio has an amazing mind for this business. He's been trained, all different styles of wrestling. He went through the MCW camp. He went through CZW camp. He went through Ring of Honor's dojo. He's wrestled multiple places across the world, very well traveled. He's been in WWE, AEW. He's, first Peruvian wrestler in both those companies. School is just going great. We just, the more the merrier. So if you guys are looking to learn how to be a pro wrestler, I highly, highly recommend reaching out to us. Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 6 to 9. Plus we do some extra free classes whenever we get some time. But on top of that, we have a locker room full of guys and gals that are ready to spill their brains out from what they've learned over the year. The WDWA backstage family, everybody's been interested in helping the growth of WDWA. So it's a great environment, great place to learn. So if you're in the Eastern Panhandle area, or if you're in Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, anywhere that you're willing to drive to Martinsburg, West Virginia, please reach out. Let's make that connection and let's help your dreams come true. You could be the future of WDWA. You could be the future of the pro wrestling world. Whatever your dreams are, we'll do our best to push you to where you want to go. So, thanks for that. Thanks for that quick plug.
Yeah, Jason Curtis, that's one of the things he actually mentioned with the wrestling school. And he actually, the show with Jason Curtis actually ended up being hosted by myself and Susie. And he told us that he actually had a question for us for a change. And when we found out what his question was, it was simply, will we ever see Hardcore Hoss or Susie as a manager or a ring announcer or anything? Would we ever take the training and actually do something in the ring? And we both told him, well, you never know what could happen. It just, you could possibly see it, you might not, you never know. But I know there's definite interest there all the way around. So it is something I would love to do sometime.
Yeah, I mean, the one good thing about our program is, our doors are open up to anybody. We'll never turn anybody down. We'll never tell anybody that you cannot achieve your dream. It may take some people longer than others, and some people may not be able to pick up things right away, but we have such a great team that we will not give up on anybody that's putting the work in. As long as people are putting that work in and they're trying to get better and they're listening to us and following directions, man, Rio, what a great person. I can't think, I can't talk about how highly I think of this guy. very encouraging, very, stern with what he wants. He'll tell you what he wants. But man, like, I would love to see that guy get mad because I don't know if he can. But it's just a great, encouraging environment. But it's also a place that, we love professional wrestling so much, and we're so passionate about it that we want it done correctly. We don't want people to go to some other training schools that, either just want your money or that will not teach you correctly, because that's not going to help our business as a whole, not WDWA, the pro wrestling business. That's not going to help it. That's not going to take what we love and expand it. We want people to know the right way to carry themselves in locker room, the right way to carry themselves in public, the right way of working promos and working TV and doing all this stuff. Like, and I think unless you have passionate people that are taking you under our wing, that you're just getting cheated out of what this business, is what it really is, and what makes people fall in love with it. So highly recommend the school. So John, if you and Susie are ever interested, you know how to get a hold of me. Let's make it happen. We might even have the FWWC Hardcore Champion defend his title against Susie Hoss in the WDWA ring one day.
Well, and in all honesty, we have some people in the FWWC who are pretty good at promoing. They can put together a heck of a promo. They can put together a heck of a story, and it's entertaining to follow them. But here recently, two of our newest members in the FWWC are trainees from your school. Yeah. And the promos that they are putting out, they are doing some really good stuff over there. And the training that you have given them truly shows. And there's some people that have been in FWWC for, well, pretty much since the beginning, that their promos are just showing them up, and I see that, and I can see where your training's done things with them. So,
well, to be completely honest, I appreciate the kind words. We haven't really worked on too much promos yet, so a lot of that stuff that you're seeing is their natural abilities. I think that when it comes to what they've received from us was based off of what they've seen at WDWA, with all the workers and everything like that, and mixed with their natural abilities is what you're getting, So once we start polishing up what they're already good at, oh man, it's going to be even better, but we'll get there.
Sheila wants to come to the school just to hurt JTR.
Oh, well, we just got to keep JTR out of there.
But, I'm not sure if our second guest is going to be able to come in or not. We haven't heard a whole lot from him. I know last we heard he was tied up, but still trying to make it. So at this point, I would say let's go ahead and get into our fans weigh-in segment. And, we do have our fan for the night backstage, and our fan tonight is somebody who is very well known, both with the fans of WDWA as well as the WDWA locker room itself. And it's somebody that I've actually had several fans ask me, why haven't you had them on yet? When are they coming on? So, you and I had talked about it a couple of times, and so I'm going to go ahead and bring
Wait. And I think this individual also holds some FWWC championships as well.
Yes.
So what championships are those?
He is the FWWC International Champion, at this time the longest reigning international champion. So that's the only title she holds at this time. She has held the hardcore title before. I think she's held a few others as well, but the hardcore and the international are the two that she's really known for. So
and what title does she hold? Oh, that's right. World's Greatest Sister is what you said?
I don't remember saying that. But
So
in the FWWC, she is known as the Badass American Diva. Let's welcome Susie Haas.
And
How's it
yes, he did say I'm his favorite sister.
Must be the only sister.
Well, we weren't going to say that, Gavin.
Well, Susie, thanks for coming on. You are always in the chat room. You're always supportive of both Wrestle Talk as well as Elevation, as well as WDWA. I've known you and John for years. Always a pleasure to be around you.
Hey, Danica.
Very happy to have you on the show. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're too welcome. You really are. And just so I can kind of clarify what Haas was talking about, I have been the women's champion in the FWWC, first ever female to hold the hardcore title, and I've held it 3 times. I have been the Spartan's Heart champion once, I think, maybe twice. I can't remember. And of course, right now I am the longest reigning international champion, and I am the I've had it for about almost a year and a half now.
Hell yeah.
Haas, of course, has had his for over 2 years, but
Have you guys ever faced off against each other?
Oh, a couple of times. In fact, we just did a couple weeks ago.
How'd that work out?
I don't know, was that a tie, Haas? Or did I beat you? I can't remember.
I don't remember how it ended up, but I do know that we did face off a couple of weeks ago, and one of my favorite promos between me and her,
God.
and I'll have to show it to you if I can dig it up. We actually went over to my cousin's house, who has a pool in his backyard, and it was for the hardcore championship, and we were standing there being all nice, and I told her the time for being nice was over and smacked her upside the head with the title, knocking her in the pool.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I came up out of the water yelling his name. He just walked off. Yeah, he just walked off. It was a great promo because I sold it.
It would have been good if it was like an old, like 50s cartoon where you jump up out of the water, run like this on the water, and then take off.
That would have been better, yeah. As soon as I learn to walk on water, I'll let you know.
All right. Yeah, let us all know.
So,
definitely.
So are we ready to get into this upcoming show?
Matt said if you guys were really facing off, Susie would make you tap out, buddy.
That's it. Matt's a smart man. And hi to everybody out there that said hi to me. As I'm waving, it's because I see your things pop up that say hi.
So before we move on, I'm a little curious. What's behind you, Susie? Are those?
Well, this shouldn't be there, but yeah, that's my my title Raw. I have the original women's SmackDown and the original SmackDown and Raw women's titles. Of course, my Diva belt, which is not the one like this one, but hey, it's there. I have a hardcore title back there. I don't know what all else I have back there, and of course, I have the big trucks and my Undertaker. Some of the little guys. I've got a lot of the pop things. Jerry Lawler.
Nice. But
yeah.
Before you remove that one thing from the wall, I thought you had a wall full of handcuffs. I was getting ready to ask some more questions. But now that I see that they are not, furry handcuffs, We
No.
will refrain from those questions. But John,
Okay.
the real reason why we have Susie on. You ready for this? The fan weigh-in, brother. You want to go ahead and kick it off?
All right. So let's go ahead here and pull up a match.
Oh, man. This is going to be an awesome match.
Mr. Mountain Dew.
Mr. Mountain Dew versus the punk rock pyromaniac himself, Mr. Sean Phoenix. Yeah, Tommy Vex and Sean Phoenix. What two guys out of Pennsylvania that I think very highly of both of them, man. Both of them great workers. You know, I honestly can't wait for this match. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Tommy Vex trained by Kakoa?
Yeah, they broke in together. I know he trained with them. I'm not sure if Tommy Vex was fully trained by Kakoa, but I do know he learned a lot from Kakoa. He may have been trained. I'm not sure, but definitely he was under Kakoa's wing as he broke in and learned a lot from him. And I think that's one of the reasons why he's so good in that ring. So I think it's going to be very hard for Sean Phoenix. And, the last time we saw Sean Phoenix, he had his chance to be light heavyweight champion, and Just Jay ended up stopping that, guys. But I think Sean Phoenix has yet to make a big impact here in WDWA. I think he's got all the tools. I think that, he's in the right place at the right time. I just think he hasn't been able to capitalize on it quite yet. Tommy Vex, poor Tommy's got a long losing streak, but, it could be his time. So really this match could go either way. So Susie's, what do you think?
I kind of like them both to a degree. And I think they're both excellent. Up. Did I just go out? Shit.
Oh.
Or am I still there?
Your camera's gone, but we're still hearing
it. Okay. All right, I was going to say, yeah, because I touched something and then all at once it just kind of went away. Yeah, I mean, I think Tommy Vex could very well take this one. But then again, it could also be
did we lose her, John?
Yeah, it looks like we lost her. Looks like we might have lost her. We'll give her a minute to go out and come back in while we go ahead and discuss our thoughts on it here.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind, John, I'll go ahead and go first, buddy. I mentioned that Sean Phoenix, right place, right time, just hasn't capitalized it, man. I think that July 12th is going to be his time. So I think the punk rock pyromaniac is going to take that win. So mark me down for Sean Phoenix over Tommy Vex. Susie, you cut off on us, girl.
Yeah, and I was saying, while I like them both, I think I have to go with Sean Phoenix. I think they're both due sooner or later. But I think Phoenix, this just may be his time.
Uh-oh, John. Uh-oh. See, Susie knows. What you thinking, Mr. Hoss?
Well, honestly, I really like Sean Phoenix a lot. I've gotten to sit down and talk with him on Wrestle Talk before, and I believe we've said on here, and I know we've talked about it on Frontline, that Sean Phoenix is a tough competitor, and he has gone through so much, from when he was injured and didn't think he'd ever walk again, to actually being back in the ring and his high flying style, and he shows no fear. A lot of people that went through something like that might be a little hesitant to do some of the stuff that he does, but
yeah, he's lucky he's alive.
Yeah, he shows no fear in what he does. But there's just something about Tommy Vex that I just have to give this one to Vex.
Yeah, as long as there's no dairy in the house or he's not on the phone with his mom, I think he's got a good shot.
Does that mean I need to bring a can of Cool Whip with me?
I don't know. With all them handcuffs, you might already have some.
But
Oh no, there ain't handcuffs back there.
but
No, you know what? This here, though, it may look familiar to you. Somebody else you know likes to carry one into the ring.
Is that Sasaki?
No, Mr. Thespian.
Oh, Mr. Hawthorne.
Yes, carries the fan into the ring with him.
But
Yeah.
It's the closest thing he's got to real fans.
Oh.
But you said something earlier about liking Tommy Vex, and Jackson wants to know, you like Tommy Vex?
I do. I do like Tommy Vex. I like him a lot, actually. I think he's very entertaining, but at the same time, very talented.
He kind of reminds me of R-Truth a lot. I think he's the comic relief of the WDWA.
And just like R-Truth, he's got all the abilities to back it up, so happy to have Tommy a part of the team.
And Tommy seems to be over with the crowd just so much. And I don't know what happened that put him over with the crowd other than just, his personality itself. But
I think the last show I saw him at that the fans were yelling for him, he was like, "They're cheering me? What's happening?" I think he was more surprised than anybody that the fans were actually behind him.
Yeah, it's hard to dislike Tommy. One quick story. I'll make it very, very quick so we can move on. One of the funniest things that I saw with Tommy was he was in a Holy Grail a couple years back. It was the Holy Grail where Kakoa won. And Kakoa gave him a super kick and pinned him 1, 2, 3 in the ring, and it totally knocked Tommy out. And Tommy laid in that ring almost all the way through intermission without moving. And the only thing that could get him up was LGR coming to the ring and giving him a big kiss on the mouth. And that was the only thing that could get him up. But poor Tommy. All right, John. So looks like 2-1 on this one. You want to put up the next match, bud?
All right. So the next match we're going to go to here is
Cowboy versus Cowboy. Ranch Hand versus the Outlaw.
There you go.
And that depends on who you talk to, because Ranch Hand Carlson is saying that, Bo Ross may call himself a cowboy. He may dress like a cowboy. But when it comes to doing cowboy things, Bo Ross is no cowboy. Which is funny because I always call Ranch Hand the Walmart cowboy. But so it's definitely going to be interesting to see when it comes down to cowboy versus cowboy, who is going to take this one, because it's definitely going to be a good match no matter what.
Yeah, no, there's different types of cowboys, just because he's not a ranch hand working on a farm doesn't make him not an outlaw. Bo Ross is one tough SOB. He's beat guys in the ring like Shane Malice, and he's beaten a handful of other WDWA superstars, and you can't knock the guy. One of the hardest workers that always shows up whenever you need him. He's there to kick ass. No matter what side of the ring he's on, he's there to do a job, and he does it well. So for the ranch hand to make that comment, I think it's BS. But like we mentioned earlier with the ranch hand and Cizzko, it's like, one is ranch hand focused on this match, because what cost them the match with Cizzko was not being focused on Cizzko, right? And he had that match won. And how is he going to focus knowing that Cizzko is in the same building and you're up against Bo Ross, So I'm hoping that Ranch Hand could keep everything clear and focused, because if he can, he is one of the most badass guys on the roster right now. I think that he's a future, top guy here at WDWA. I can see him working with guys like Clay Jacobs, DeMarcus Kane, A.K. Bain, all these top guys, Zakar Shaw, Misused, everybody else that's been at the top. What an amazing talent. But as for this match, man, this one's going to be hard for me to call. Susie, what do you think?
I got to tell you, I like both of them. I actually do like Carlson. He's hey, how you doing, Eddie? I do like Carlson. I think that he is a good talent, and I believe, like you said, that he eventually one day, I think he could be out there. But I got to tell you, Bo is just, Bo's my boy. I am definitely, a Bo Ross fan. And I remember one time when I was supposed to do a match in the FWWC with the Night Owl. Well, no, it was El Mata. It was El Mata of the La Familia that Haas and I are part of. And I took a picture with Bo and sent it to him. And he said to me, Bo Ross would kick your ass. And I just laughed. So he is a huge Bo fan, and I think he might have it there, and I think he would probably say Bo Ross on this one. So I'll go with Bo. Yeah, right. I'm going with Bo.
All right, Susie's going with Bo. Hardcore Hoss, what about you, man? Oh, Matt Pinson made up a good point. What if Legion and Wraith's around?
I was going to say that. You don't know what Legion or Wraith, you don't know if they're going to be around anywhere. And Bo's going to have to continuously look over his shoulder with that. And if Bo gets distracted, I have seen where, Ranch Hand has, he's hit people with that forearm and just about sent their head back to the third row somewhere, And so if Bo gets distracted, I could see where Ranch Hand would be able to do that to him as well. And I hate to see that because I really like Bo. I do. But, with the distraction there, I'm going to have to give this one to Ranch Hand. I really am, because I think he really wants to prove himself, and it's going to be tough.
I'm going with Bo Ross. All this talk about, Ranch Hand being good. He's going to mix it up with eventually mix it up with the Clay Jacobs and, the main event guys. Is he needs to get in line. Bo's been here a long time. Mm-hmm. Bo's put that work in. Bo's a tough cookie, man. He's no walk on. He's no stepping stone. He's definitely not going to be a stepping stone for Ranch Hand. So I'm going with Bo Ross.
That's fine. Just keep leaving me out there on the island. Remember who was 5-1 last time.
Hey, Bo is the boss. And who knows, maybe this time you'll be 0-0.
Let's keep that boss thing down, because
yeah. So okay.
Well,
at one time in the FWWC, I was a what do we call those things, John? I ran my own team. Yeah, I was a general manager, and my team always called me Boss Hoss.
All right, John, number 3, buddy.
All right, so.
Oh, big match right here.
Yeah, Ace Christian versus Just Jay for the light heavyweight championship. Ace is finally going to get his hands on Jay after that attack that Just Jay perpetrated on him, that I still say was because he's scared of Ace Christian, because if he wasn't scared of him, why didn't he want to face him one-on-one? And now he wasn't able to give a satisfactory answer to that when we had him on here last show. You know, he just kept saying he wasn't scared, and maybe Ace should have looked as he was running. And yeah, you know, they were all, to me, BS answers, and I wasn't happy with him.
He's definitely cocky, man, but definitely confident in his abilities. You know, I said this before. I think Just Jay's a great talent, but I think he's standing in his own way. And I think to take cheap shots and attack Ace Christian from behind twice now, as well as, attacking Phoenix and just, going about things the dirty way, pinning Amara Void dirty, and just, somebody's got to have his number. And I'm hoping that it's Ace Christian, because Ace Christian would make a great champion. He holds himself to great standards. I think he would be somebody that would represent the company better than Just Jay would, because Just Jay he's one more cheap shot away from a fine. What do you think, Miss Hoss?
You know, I kind of like this new attitude of his. You know, there were times when the fans were with him, times when they weren't. Of course, Haas has always said, and I agree, wrestling fans can be very fickle sometimes. You know, one minute they like you, one minute they hate you. You just never know. And I think that Jay has kind of just sort of gone out on his own. And I got to tell you, when it comes to Jay, I kind of see a little bit of Tiffany in him, and he's gotten that belt now, and he's got a taste of the gold, and I think he'll do whatever it takes to hold on to it. So I think I'm going to have to go with Just Jay on this one.
Hoss, what about you, bud?
This new attitude Just Jay has is something else. He is just so much more dangerous with this new attitude. I don't think it's a clean win for Just Jay, but I do think it is a win for Just Jay. But I will say, especially being the fact that I don't think it's a clean win, I don't think this is the last time you see Just Jay and Ace Christian together. But I don't think this is the time that Ace will take it.
Makes a good point. You know what, guys? You know what? I think I'm going to go with Ace Christian on this one. I think that, like I said, there's only but so many times Just Jay gets away with something. There's got to be somebody that's going to stop him. And
look at Misused. How many times has Misused got away with it?
Yeah. I mean, you make a great point. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with Ace Christian on this one. Yeah.
All right. So, we just brought up Misused. So let's go to their match. You just recently announced Misused versus the Burkharts for the tag team championships.
That's right. The new tag team champions, who I have a bill waiting on both of these guys, because I don't know if you guys saw the video or not. They burned those championship titles, which I spent hard-earned money on, and created their own Misused tag team championship. So both of them will be receiving, 1, a fine, 2, a bill in the mail, and if they don't pay, it's legal action. So I'm going with the Burkharts right off this. They're going to win. Great tag team, great youngsters. They need to win this match. I think Misuse has pushed me past my breaking point now with disrespecting WDWA property.
All right. Susie?
I got to say that unless you strip them and take titles away from them, I got to go with Misused on this. And I hate saying that, I do, but I got to go with Misused, because just like a moment ago, like we said, They make their own rules. They don't care what you say. They don't care what anybody says. They're going to do what they want, when they want, how they want. And look at what they did to Zakar when they faced him and Clay. You know, powder in the face. You know, those two aren't above anything to hold on to those titles. I think it's going to take a lot to get those titles off of them. Like I said, unless Gavin, unless you strip them of them, I think those guys are going to hold on to them and do whatever it takes to hold on to them.
I'm not going to strip them of the title, but I'm definitely going to make their life a living hell. You know, you don't do that to something that, like I talked about it earlier, you know, how much respect and love I have for this business. I think when you have the World Tag Team Championships, that they're such a prestigious thing in professional wrestling, and for you to just mistreat it like that, it's like a big middle finger to myself, to WDWA, and to all the wrestling fans, you know, and Misuse will pay for this. So
I hope you do make their lives a living hell, because they deserve to be a living. And I tell you honestly, I think they better watch their backs, because I think sooner or later Zakar and Clay are going to get them.
Yeah, well, I hope so, but I hope it's not. I hope the tag team championships don't wait to go around somebody else's waist for them. I want the Burkharts to beat them on July 12th in the ring, 1, 2, 3. You know, that's what I want, and that's what I'm going with. I'm not going to back down on this one. You know, I do not want to see Misuse win any more matches. You don't disrespect me in the company like that. Hoss,
I completely agree.
You know, looking at it, as much as I hate to say it, I gotta go with Misused on this one. The Burkharts, they're a good up and coming tag team. Don't get me wrong, they really are, but it's just not their time. It's not there yet. They have they've got a little bit to go before they actually get to the point where I foresee them taking out somebody like Misused. And so I got to give it to Misused. I foresee Misused. Actually, I foresee them winning this one very easily, but
they've already pinned
foresee them
Misused.
doing it.
I don't know if you guys remember this. They pinned Misuse really quickly in like 10 seconds the last time they were in the ring with Misuse. Jimmy ran in, he moved, pin, 1, 2, 3. It was that quick.
The one thing I don't want to see, though, in this match is I don't want to see, you know, if Danica is the ref, I hope Misuse keeps their hands off her, because I'm getting a little tired of seeing them beating up on her.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, they've been fined every time they've done that, and the fines are getting heftier and heftier. And you know,
I would love to see her pick up a chair and crack both of them with it.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where I'm gonna run out of referees that are willing to ref Misuse matches, because they will not keep their hands off of them.
Yeah, maybe you ought to invest in what is that, like hockey gear for the refs when they go in the ring with those two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or let them take a hockey stick in there and crack them with it.
Yeah,
let the fans bring weapons and let us use them on them.
Uh-oh. Never know.
So, all right. Well, let's go ahead here, and since we're talking tag team, let's talk about the number one contenders 4-way tag match that you announced. This is a big match and a lot of names in it. You know, when you look at Sexy and Blessed, they've been the champions before. And, you know, then you got the Helm that, you know, Money and Power has brought in to chase after those tag team titles. You've got Zakar and Clay. In, you know, we know the trouble that they've had with Misused, and I know they would love to get their hands on Misused again. And then you got the Brothers Gray, who we've been talking about, who is doing phenomenal, and they're on fire. So that's going to be one heck of a match when
Yeah.
you look at all that.
4 top tier tag teams, and any one of them could win this match. Any one of them. I think the Brothers Gray, amazing tag team. The stuff they're doing with the Syndicate and the stuff they did in Japan and all over the the East Coast and everything. They've just been killing it everywhere they've gone. We've mentioned what my thoughts about Clay and Zakar. To me, it's the Mega Powers, man. It's 2 of the best, that were on the opposite end of the spectrums coming together as one. Amazing team. And somehow they've been able to put all that aside and work together. The Helm, fantastic tag team, going around all over the place, kicking ass. JTR spent a lot of money on those guys. Those guys have been trained very well. They're willing to put a hurt on anybody. Sexy and Bless, former WDWA tag team champions, held it for almost a year, beat every single tag team that stepped up to face them. Incredible tag team. This one can go either way. What are your guys' thoughts?
Good.
I gotta say, I look for either Clay and Zakar. That's who I'm going for, is Clay and Zakar. I mean, I am a huge Clay fan. I have recently gained a whole new respect for Zakar. He really is a great talent, and I've always thought he was a great talent. I just didn't particularly like his attitude. But I've gotten a new respect for him, and I'd have to say I'm probably leaning more toward Clay and Zakar. I could see the Brothers Gray taking this, but I'm gonna say Clay and Zakar. Although I will also say that the Helm is not a bad team either. They're a pretty decent team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a pretty good team, and like them or hate them, Sexy and Blessed are not a team to sleep on.
No.
But I think Zakar and Clay could take this.
What about you, John?
Yeah.
Who would you like to see face the Burkharts?
Looking at this, there are, like we say, there are 4 top-notch teams. There's going to be a lot of muscle, a lot of power in this ring. And, when you look at it, you've got tag teams who work together on a regular basis that I would expect to have more chemistry than Clay and Zakar do. So it's a matter of, can Clay and Zakar actually work together and keep things together and be on the same page? Or if they can't, then one of these other teams would probably take it. But I think I would have to go with Clay and Zakar in this one.
Yeah, this one's real hard. Matt Pinkston just wrote JTR will be out there. I could see him getting Clay and Zakar eliminated. We've mentioned JTR and how he could throw a wrench in anybody's plans. Brothers Gray are out there. You have Sam Adams out there, another wrench thrown in. You just never know. But with that being said, I think I'm going to end up having to go with the Brothers Gray on this. Those guys really impressed me last show. As you saw, Sam Adams pin Clay Jacobs fair and square right there in the ring. That's their boy. He's taken them under their wing. They've learned everything from Sam. Those guys continue to impress me. Great look, great size, great mind for this business. Even in the Rumble, man, I was watching them work together. Definitely, a force to be reckoned with. I think this is their time. I'm going to go with the Brothers Gray on this one.
I've always loved Sam. Sam's always been one of my boys. But the other week when he hid under the ring during the whole Rumble, and then at the end came out, I was just like, really? Come on, Sam. But then, he thought he had it won, but he didn't knock Mr. Put a man over that rope. And
he tried to outsmart the Kingpin. It didn't work.
Exactly. But I got to say, it was a good match.
Yeah, it was.
And when you start talking about Sam Adams, Sam Adams versus Cizzko for the Mid-Atlantic Championship, that another one that's going to be a good match.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier with Cizzko. Man, high stakes in this, but high reward. Man, this one's easily a coin flip. Both of these guys, equal playing field, equal drive, equal talent. Very, very hard for me to decide on this one, but I'm going to go with Cizzko on this one. It's just something about him. Since coming back, he's got a new attitude, a new drive. So I'm going to go with Cizzko.
All right.
That's the same for me. I'm going Cizzko.
All right. Well, in this match, there again, you got to look at the fact that Brothers Gray is going to be there.
Yeah, true.
And they could play a role in this match. However, in order for them to play a role in this match, then Sam would have to be distracting the referee. Otherwise, if the ref sees it, it's a disqualification and Cizzko automatically wins. So, there's a lot of moving pieces in this. And I know Sam would absolutely love to win that title. He'd love to hold a title in WDWA. But I see Cizzko keeping the title. So I'm going to go with Cizzko. I don't see him losing this one.
Ooh, let's have a luau on the island tonight.
There we go.
We're all on the island tonight.
I will say though, if Sam wins that, I won't be shocked. He's that good.
Oh, he's good, but I think Cizzko just has a little bit of an edge.
Yeah. All right, John, what we got next, bud?
All right, we got 2 matches left, and I'm going to go in a certain order for a reason here. Let's go ahead and talk about the Paperman Chuck Lennox versus AK Bane for the championship.
Well, I'll go ahead and start with this, guys. I've talked about it on this podcast before about my thoughts about the Paperman Chuck Lennox. Amazing talent. Been around from years. Learned from the best. Have been in the ring with so many different, legendary Hall of Fame tag teams. Definitely part of one of the best groups ever in independent pro wrestling, Black Wall Street. Think the world of the guy. I think he's so talented. But I don't think he's going to be able to beat AK Bane. AK Bane is a scary monster. You mix that with having Jason Curtis, JTR, and I think he's just on a rampage right now. And I know Lennox is there to defend the honor of his brother as well as trying to become WDWA champion. But man, sometimes it feels like you just need an army to take AK down.
All right. Well, and something else you look at, is the fact that, like we said before, money and power is going to be there. JTR is going to be ringside. I'm sure Jason Curtis is going to be there. We know that the Helm, they're going to be there. So you got so much to contend with, but is DeMarcus going to be there? He's not on the card, but that doesn't mean he can't show up.
I don't know, man. After that beatdown and watching him limp to the back and then seeing him trying to get ready to leave the last show, man, he had to get help out to his car. He just was not feeling it. So we'll see.
So, I mean, you got DeMarcus there as a wild card because, like I say, you don't know if he's there or not. But just so much for Chuck to overcome. I'm going to have to go with Bane. I mean, he's a big enough monster on his own. And then you got all of that money and power I mean, you don't know if CEO is going to be there ringside or not. So he's got so much to overcome, and I think AK holds on to it.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to bet against AK at this point.
Yeah, and I think, the Paperman, he's a great talent. He's good. But think about this for a minute. If he should take that title, he's got to face DeMarcus at Berkeley Mania.
And
And
that's the thing about WDWA. You never know what's going to happen.
So, I mean, that would be a good match. I mean, they're brothers, and you'd almost hate to see them go at each other, but I believe that they would, and they would give it their all. But and it would be an awesome match. But I don't see the Paperman taking it. I see AK with it, and I think we're going to see AK at Berkeley Mania against DeMarcus. And I'll tell you right now, my prediction for that one is going to be DeMarcus. He's the man. And by chance, if you're watching, DeMarcus, you the man.
That's right, Kingpin. You're the man. Hopefully you feel better, man. I know it was rough on you at last show, but John, I know usually the heavyweight championship is the main event, but for this show, it's not. You want to let everybody know what the main event's going to be?
Yeah, we got one heck of a match in line here.
That's right. Sorry, go ahead.
We've got Lineage, which is Shane Malice and his son Gaven Miller versus Doc Gallows and Eric Young. This guarantees to be one heck of a barn burner.
Yes, it is. One half of one of the greatest tag teams ever, the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows, hometown guy, coming back to his old stomping grounds, and teaming up with Eric Young, 2-time TNA heavyweight champion. Such a pleasure to have these guys come to WDWA. Amazing guys, amazing careers, very, very talented. Going up against Lineage, we mentioned him before, the most decorated WDWA superstar of all time, Steel City Sex Pistol, Shane Malice, and his son, who in my opinion is a chip off the old block, who wrestles exactly like his dad. He's got all the talent in the world. Definitely the future of pro wrestling. Man, this, with all the accolades with Doc Gallows and Eric Young, this is not going to be a walk on the park for them. Nobody can expect them to show up, handle business, and leave and go back to their lives. I mean, they're coming here and they're going to face off against, two of the, we were talking about all those great tag teams. This is another great tag team in WDWA. Gallows and Young are going to have to bring it. But at the same time, Shane Malice and Gaven Miller, they got to step up because they're going against two globally known professional wrestlers, and now this is their time to excel. So they need to take this opportunity and do whatever they can to win because the world's watching.
Absolutely. And it like I say, it is going to be one heck of a tough fight for Shane and Gaven. It's going to be one that's going to be interesting to watch. It really is. So, what's your thoughts, Susie?
I got to tell you, I have always loved Doc Gallows. I am just a huge Doc Gallows fan. Probably almost as much as I was with, the one we recently saw. But I'm a huge Doc Gallows fan, so I'm really looking forward to seeing him. And I would love to think that, him and Eric Young are going to come in and just wipe the mat. But you're talking about Shane Malice. And if you've been a WDWA fan for as long as Hoss and I have been, you cannot bet against Shane Malice. Shane Malice is just phenomenal in that ring. And, Shane is also another one of those that he'll win at almost any cost, but he's slick about it, and he can be very slick. and
Yeah.
he's bringing his boy up to be just like him. And that one is just going to be real hard to call. But I think if I'm going to really make that call, I'd probably have to say Shane and his son.
Oh, lineage.
Yeah,
That's a
I
yes.
hate the thought of Doc Gallows coming and losing it at here in Martinsburg. But I gotta tell you, Shane Malice is not an easy target. And I was there the night Shane Malice took on Shane Douglas, and Shane Douglas did not have an easy time with Shane Malice either. So
I've seen
I gotta
Shane
tell you,
face Gangrel.
yeah,
He's no matter who you put on the other side of that ring, he's been able to hold his own and most of the time defeat them. And when I say chip off the old block, I mean, it is like somebody cloned Shane Malice and made Gavin Miller. Like, he's that close to how good his
DNA,
dad
man, they
is.
share DNA.
So impressive,
Yeah.
holy hell, so good. But man, like former Sanity member Eric Young, what a wild card, but amazing talent, one of the hardest workers in the business who's taken the time to truly learn this business and work his ass off and start at the very bottom and clawed and scratched and fought his way to the top of the card, who I've heard so many people talk nothing but positive about this guy. I've never heard a bad thing about him. You mix that with the big guy, Doc Gallows, who's, man, one of the best tag teams of all time across the world, has held every major tag title. Also a hometown guy who shows all of these young guys that you can reach success if you're willing to work for it. He's one of the guys that have wrestled in some of the same local promotions. He was telling me that his first match ever was in Inwood, West Virginia. So he's excited to come back, to Inwood for another match. And it's just, what a great story, to have. But, the roads are leading to WDWA and they're leading to Hot and Bothered. And for this to be the main event and the stakes being high, I think I'm going to have to go with Gallows and Eric Young.
All right. And,
so we're 1-1, John.
I am going to have to go with you on this one, Gavin. I got to go with Doc Gallows, him and Eric Young for the win on this one. It's just Lineage, they are on a roll. They really are. And I could see them pulling it out. It's going to be hard fought, but I honestly think, ultimately the win's going to go to Doc Gallows.
I wouldn't be mad about it. I really wouldn't.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the show that there was a chance Shane Malice wasn't going to be able to make it on. He's out and about doing his thing right now, and given the circumstances, he's not able to step away like he thought he could. So we apologize to all the fans and everybody that we've advertised for him to be on. We're really sorry about that. We don't like to go back on our word, but life happens and he's got to take care of some things. But with all that being said, Shane, I'm voting against you.
So no matter what, though, I believe the big winners of the night are going to be the fans, because this is going to be one heck of a show. And, things just keep getting bigger and bigger in WDWA. And I am happy to be a part of it and just look forwards to this show as I have all the others, and look forwards to see what's going to happen building up to Berkeley Mania, because, we may not know exactly who's going to be in what matches in Berkeley Mania, but like we know that DeMarcus Kane is going for the heavyweight championship at Berkeley Mania, and knowing that right now AK Bane holds that title, man, the thought of that match alone is just, it's exciting, and it's got the big feel to it already, and I can't wait to see what else is going to take place, and it's just going to keep getting bigger right up to Berkeley Mania.
And let me speak from a fan's perspective. Gavin, I personally want to thank you and your family for everything you do for the fans. You know, WDWA, it has just grown by leaps and bounds since you took over, and it is such an awesome project. It's such an awesome show. I enjoy myself every time I'm there. I love just about all the wrestlers there, even the bad guys. They're cool. You know, most of them are pretty cool. There's a couple I'm not real cool on, but most of them are, you know, even the bad guys. You know, when you realize what athletes these guys are, you know, they call wrestling sports entertainment, but I got to tell you, there's a lot of athleticism in these guys. You have to really be an athlete to do this. You can't just go in there and do it. And you and your family, you bring the best talent, the best of everything. And as a fan, and I hope I'm speaking for the rest of the fans, thank you, thank Kelly, thank Jackson, thank your entire family for everything you guys do for the fans. You guys are awesome, and we love you.
Yeah, why those words mean more to me than I could ever explain. I always get on here, and you guys know me. I always push that it's a team effort, you know, and it really truly is. You know, I couldn't do this without the support from my family
and your staff,
and all of the staff that, you know, brings their all. We have a great locker room where everybody is you know, wanting to see WDWA success, and I think it's just become a great recipe for the product. So, but we couldn't do this without the fans, with you guys and the rest of the fans and everybody's support. People that have been supporting Elevation, people that have been supporting Frontline, people that have been, you know, just supporting WDWA as a whole. And you know, we just continue to grow. We're taking a lot of chances. Some of them, you know, scary financial chances, and some of them, you know, are good thought out chances. And we're just seeing what works, you know. Definitely putting a lot of time and effort into it, because we're definitely very passionate about this. So I really appreciate those kind words. They mean a lot to me. I hold them very close to me, and I'm just going to continue doing what I can do as long as God willing. So, you know,
well, you and your family and your staff do an awesome job. And I mean, yeah, maybe you guys say you couldn't do it without us fans, but we fans wouldn't have anything we wanted to go to or be a part of if it weren't for you guys and all your hard work.
Don't make me blush.
No, I won't. I'm not going to try to make you blush, but you know, and Kelly, I saw your message. Love to you, girl. Gavin's a lucky man. Don't ever let him forget it.
No, I don't. She's the best.
She is. She's awesome.
So it looks like that's episode 5 in the books. You know, it's been another great episode. You know, unfortunately, like you say, we weren't able to make it work with Shane, but we'll have to try to reschedule him another time and see if we can't get him one. But you know, it's definitely been another great episode, and just definitely looking forward to Hot and Bothered.
That's right. So Hot and Bothered, you know, July 12th at the South Berkeley Fire Hall, $20 a ticket. Doors open up at 5:30. Bell time, 6 p.m. Come see Doc Gallows and Eric Young take on Lineage. Come see the World Heavyweight Champion. Come see the Tag Team Champions, Mid-Atlantic Champion, the Light Heavyweight Champion. Come see 8 great action-packed matches. Definitely going to be one of the best shows we've done all year. Definitely going to set the bar. So please, take the time to come out, bring the family, bring your friends, share the product. Follow us on social media, follow us on Elevation. Again, guys, I say all the time, let's continue to grow together. Definitely looking forward to these two coming out. Definitely brings a lot of eyes to WDWA, as well as just prove that we're able to hang with the rest of them. So thank you, Susie, for your weigh in and everything you say. Thank you to everybody in the chat that has joined us. Thank you to everybody on all social media platforms. John, thank you, buddy. It's always a pleasure. And we will see everybody on episode 6. Good night, everyone.